Okay, so today is all about getting pigs back on the farm. Very, very excited for today. It is Saturday, October 31st, Halloween 2020. And it's early. We're actually getting kind of a late start. We've got Austin and his girl Nikki here with us today because we have pigs coming onto the farm. So that's super exciting. But before we get started with that, let's take a peek at the sunrise because, you know, I love sharing this with you guys. So it's going to be a beautiful day today, about perfect for bringing these pigs onto the farm. You know, mid 80s, I don't know, it's probably 55, 60 degrees this morning. Got the pig enclosure here. Nice and empty, ready for these little guys to be on the farm. We've got a couple bales of hay that we will be putting into the structure back there, which is their shade structure and also where they're going to sleep. And honestly, the reality is most of today they'll probably spend their time back there. They tend to be a little freaked out when they first come onto the farm. But we've got water for them, we've got plenty of feed, we've got shade, someplace for them to be safe behind the gate here, so that's going to be really nice. So we've actually got a little project we need to get done this morning before we head over to the breeder. Talked to her last week, and so hopefully they're ready for us. But the garden bed's here. You can see we need to get these three guys watered. Lori said she saw something sprouting yesterday, but I couldn't find it, so I'm not sure where that's at. But before we get that project done over in the outbuilding, I'm going to get these beds watered. Lori is finding little sprouts down here. Where's it?
You can barely see them. They're right over there.
Oh yeah, there's actually more in the middle.
Over there and there.
Yeah. So we got several of the radishes that we planted down here that are just starting to come up. You're not going to be able to make it out on camera, I don't think. That's cool to see. She found, we think, some kale over in this bed that's starting to sprout, which is a good sign. We thought we had planted the seeds a little too deep, but apparently they weren't that deep. This is one of the first beds that we planted here. You can see that is mainly radish. Martin, we got that black radish doing really, really well. In the first few rows, you can see those are the ones that we actually put into rows. This bed doing not bad. This one doing not as good. And this one really sad. So we planted some cauliflower in there, and we also added some more radish seed. And then over here in the summer beds, I wanted to just do a quick test. I dropped some daikon radish just at the end of this bed. This bed is nothing but wood chips and that soil that we had brought in. And I don't know whether you're going to make it out or not on camera, but we have some radish seed. Hopefully you can make that out, but we have some daikon radish coming in there, and that is just that soil and wood chips that we've been watering in for the last few weeks, so that's really exciting to see. One other thing before we get to the pig thing, Lori came over to me and shared that we've got a little critter in one of our chicken feeders that I have to go take care of. So I'm gonna go take care of this mouse that has been chowing down on our chicken feed, and then hopefully we can actually get to our pigs today. Oh, that's a good size one. Oh, he's coming up. He's gonna try to get me.
What can you put him in so he doesn't run away?
I don't know. He's trying to get up here though.
What,
Yeah, that's not a mouse, that's a rat. Okay, so farm life's a lot of fun. That was a rat that was up in one of our feeders, so we definitely need to get those up off the ground a little bit better, and we're gonna start closing those here in the evening. Anyhow, we took care of Ratatouille. Now we need to actually get to pigs. So we're here with Austin and Nikki. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
Not 100% morning, folks. Anyways, after the rat fiasco, Nikki's a little shook. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a little enclosure for these pigs. We do not have a livestock trailer yet. We're gonna need one in order to take these guys to market here next spring. But we have some pallets, and what we're gonna do is basically build some type of temporary enclosure in the back of the truck so that we can get these pigs home. I don't know yet what size they are as far as, you know, their weight and how big they're gonna be. Hoping they're 50 or 60 pounds. If they're bigger, we're gonna need more space, but we definitely don't want them sitting just in the back of the truck. So Austin and I are gonna do the best we can to put together a quick enclosure for these little guys. So you can probably see here, all we did was just take 4 pallets and make a rudimentary little pen for them to go into, at least just to get back home here to the farm. So obviously we'll strap this when we're there, make sure that they can't get out, and hopefully we can get them all here in one trip. So we are on our way to the pig farm. All right, so we are leaving the pig farm. We're gonna give you guys details on that, but we've got 7 pigs we need to get on feed and water. So we're gonna head back to the farm now. You guys ready to get back home?
Yeah. Ready to shower.
Austin got a heck of a workout. He moved most of this pork that is in the back of the truck. So we're gonna head home. We're back. We've got 7 piglets here. You can't really see them, but you'll be able to see them here in just a minute. So we need to work quick, so we want to get these guys on water and feed right away. Also, those 2 bales of hay, we need to get them back in the enclosure. So we're gonna go ahead and get to work before we get these guys unloaded. Now we've got the water, which we're gonna train them to over the next couple days. But for now, we actually have water down on the ground. These piggies are gonna be really thirsty. We do need a hustle. And then you can see here, we'll talk about this more, but we have hay on the ground. They will eat that hay, but they'll also use it as bedding. So obviously the majority of their feed will come from their pig feed. However, they will have access to this as well. Okay, we're gonna grab some feed because we need to make sure we have some feed in here, water, and get us all kind of wrapped up, and then we'll get these pigs unloaded and in their new home. They're gonna be happy. Okay, so you can see that was a lot easier than loading them. So we got them down here right now. So they're going after the hay. They immediately started eating some of the hay. So we're gonna make sure that we have water. We're actually gonna bring some water down here for now because they need to get some water. One of the things that we need to do is get this cleaned out. So obviously you have pigs in there and right away they're doing their thing. So there's manure and urine in there, and we wanna make sure that we're utilizing that because it's nice and high in nitrogen and all that great stuff. Now, I wouldn't put raw pig manure onto a regular vegetable garden. That's not a good idea. However, right here, we have one of our blackberry beds, and this is just fine because this is not gonna fruit until next year, a good 5-6 months from now. But I wanna take advantage of that manure. I'm not gonna let that go to waste. It's afternoon. We've had a chance to kind of get things put away and settled, and wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the pigs that we got today, where we got them, and then kind of what we're doing here for the first few days while they get settled. So if Lori wants to pan that way, hopefully you can actually make it out. But we have 7 little piglets there in the corner. They're all sleeping right now. They've kind of had a traumatic day. So we're letting them rest. I'm gonna give them some space. But they very quickly find shade. So as soon as we put them in, they found the shelter area which we had set aside, so they've been in the shade most of the time. It's great because they sleep a lot and they're eating really, really well. So didn't take long. We stood away from the enclosure and they found the feeder. So now what you'll notice with the feeder, we actually have the flap opened so they can easily get to the feed today. We don't have rain in the forecast. It's nice and warm. Right now I'm not concerned about mice or rats getting in there. They may find it, but for these first couple of days, we want to make sure the pigs know that's where their feed is. And let me tell you, as soon as they figured out that was feed, they were swarming this feed bin, which is great to see. You'll also see that we have a bucket or a trough of water for them down on the ground here. We started with it over near the enclosure because that's where they were, so we wanted to make sure they got water. And then we brought it over here in front of the water, the automatic waterer. Eventually we'll use the automatic water and train them to that, but we just want to make sure they know this is where they go for food and water, and they figured that out pretty quick. We'll start training them to the automatic waterer, which we want to do as soon as we possibly can, because whenever you have water and you have a pig, they like to turn that into a trough that they play in. Now, as far as the breeds, we've got a couple of Hampshire crosses. We have, I think, 2 or 3 Chester Whites. And we have at least 1 Burke in there, so 1 Berkshire in there. I think the Burke might be our smallest one. So they range in sizes. I think the smallest one is just under 40 pounds, and the largest one is right about 63 to 65 pounds. So they're all within about 20 pounds of each other. So far so good with these piglets here on their very first day. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the breeder that we use to get these pigs, and that would be Pamlann Farm. Stands for Pam and Lanny. So they're on the west side of town here, actually in west Glendale. And they're basically off of 303 in Glendale. Pam and Lanny is who actually we bought all of our pigs from. This is the 4th time that we've been to them for pigs, and their pigs have done fantastic. I do know that they breed a lot of show pigs, and they got a lot of kids that come down there for that as well. So really encourage you guys, especially if you guys are doing what we're doing here, where you've got a small farm or a homestead and you're gonna be doing pigs, definitely check them out on the West Valley. Again, I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can reach out to Pam. Really excited to have these pigs back on the farm. You know, it just starts feeling like a farm again when you have livestock. Speaking of livestock, we've got to get our brooder together. We're gonna try to film that for you guys tomorrow and kind of walk you through the plan for the broiler chickens. We've done several rounds of broiler chickens on the old farm. This will be the first one on this farm. But we've had a lot of folks that have asked us some of the homesteading and farming questions and how you do some of those and how it's different in the desert. And some things are drastically different. But we're going to start that tomorrow because we're going to have time, thankfully. But I want to give you guys a quick update here on the blackberries. We put these blackberries in about a week ago, and they were just sticks when we got them. But hopefully you'll be able to pick it up on camera. They're actually coming in really good. This is our Primark blackberry right here. And I don't know whether you're going to be able to make it out or not, but we have some rooting coming from the bottom. Also have some new growth up at the top. And then the Loch Ness is doing really well also. Got a lot of new growth from that primary node that we saw, and also a node, the node further down. So it's doing great as well. So that's the Loch Ness and the Primark. And then over here, we have the Columbia Giant Thornless. And you'll be able to see here, this one's doing really well also. So you can see that there. So lots of new growth there at the tip. Now what's going to be interesting about this particular variety is we're using the same gardening soil that we use for the garden beds. Here in this bed, there was really nothing else in here as far as amendments. There isn't any other amendments. It's just that kind of that rough soil that we get from that Rock and Landscape company. And then of course wood chips on top, which we know works really, really well. We did have George come out. He is our irrigation guy. So we're talking about our irrigation extension onto the back of the farm. We have some mulberry trees and some pecan trees that we just put on order. Bare root deliveries here in the wintertime and early spring. So we've got him coming out to do line extensions. We're also going to be extending the irrigation lines ourselves. So he's going to extend the main line out to the back of the property there, and we're going to be taking care of getting irrigation lines extended and out to those trees that we're expecting to get this winter. So really excited to have the pigs back on the farm, have livestock back on the farm, and get that going for this season. You know, we've got a lot of stuff that we've still got to get done here. For the most part, planting's over. I know I need to give you guys an update on the farm itself, kind of do a walkthrough. I think we may do that here in the next week or so before some of these trees start going to bed. I think I'm being too loud for the pigs. But got a lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming up for you guys. Really glad that you guys were here with us today and watching the pigs come back onto the farm and onto this farm for the first time. So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions or comments, leave the comments and questions down below. And our Amazon shop, you guys know it's a free way to help support the channel. If you start with that link down below, it doesn't matter what you buy, you help to support us here. And hey, check out Pamlann if you guys are in the market for a pig, whether it's a show pig, a pet pig, or what we do with them here. You know what, check them out. I'll leave that link down below. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you.